Welcome, everyone, to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rantz, Tommy Krysan with you here. Get you caught up on a little sports talk in Baton Rouge. TK's over at Tremonti's Meat Seafood today. TK, since we were on yesterday, LSU's men's basketball team and now finds themselves 0-2 in the SEC, which, oh, by the way, matches what the women's record is. They went on the road to South Carolina, or they're at home,
Oh, it's
excuse
home.
me, home against South Carolina. This was supposed to be a win for LSU. When they're counting how many wins they're going to get in league play, um, this was a W. You're taking on arguably the worst team in the league, and you got run out of your own gym. Now, they ended up only losing by 10, but it was worse than that the entire game until the very end. They were down 25 at halftime. Um, right now, men's and women's LSU basketball is, I mean, we are on the verge of one of the worst athletic seasons ever from an expectation standpoint, right? LSU football, top 10, playoffs, all that. They win 7 games, lose a bowl game, fire their coach. Women's basketball, top 10. I talked to some of the women's basketball people with the program. They thought this is arguably one of the best teams they've ever had. Now they're 0-2 in SEC play, and it ain't going to get any easier. The league is stacked this year. The men's basketball team gets off to this great non-conference start November, December. They don't really play anybody. They get one decent win against SMU. They're gonna they've got to make the postseason to keep. McMahon's got to make the postseason to keep his job. And there now he's 0-2 with a loss, getting blown out at home against one of the worst teams in the conference. Not a this is not a good start.
No, it's not. And as somebody texted me last night, how long till OSU baseball starts? A little over 30 days, something like that. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, it's rough. And I watched some of that men's game last night. I watched the first half. South Carolina, who statistically was not good, shot the lights out. I mean, that's going to happen in basketball. There's going to be a night when you can't miss, and then a night when you can't put it in the basket. Well, South Carolina just flat out took it to LSU. I mean, up by 28 at one point. 28, you're on your home court down by 28. They shook it back a little bit in the second. Hey, started a whole different five. A different five players started the second half than started the first game. Trying to shake it up, trying to push a button. Didn't work. South Carolina gets the road win. Good for them. And LSU, man, that was tough.
February 13th, by the way, at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock is when LSU baseball starts. Against Milwaukee, the powerful Milwaukee, whatevers they are.
It's not the
Uh,
Brewers, is it? Not the
it's not
Milwaukee
the
Brewers.
Brewers. That would be cool. Um, by the way, can we get Lane Kiffin to not go to any more basketball games this year? He shows up at the women's game.
Uh,
They get they get blown out. They get beat at home. Then he takes Will Levitt, the prize recruit, to the game last night, and they get blown out. By the way, word to the wise, as someone who lived in Tempe, Arizona, and Ahwatukee, Arizona, all suburbs of Phoenix, and I lived literally a block away for 1 year or so. I had an apartment, lived about a block from Arizona State University. That's where Levitt is coming to LSU from. Um, Arizona State University, 60,000 plus students, the most gorgeous women of any college in the country. It's not even close.
Better than Ole Miss?
Way better than Ole Miss, and
Oh,
a lot more of them than Ole Miss. Ole Miss is small compared to Arizona State. But my point is that if we're going to bring Will Levitt here on a visit, we better roll out the red carpet, coach. This guy's used to some high-end stuff over in Phoenix, right? Not only from a city standpoint and restaurant standpoint and all that, but also from the co-ed standpoint. I'm not taking Will Levitt to an LSU men's basketball game, okay, as part of the entertainment. Nobody's at the games. Nobody's into the games. The student section's not really there. Like it had to be a terrible atmosphere last night. Not to mention they were down 20 and they were down 28-8 right off the bat. So which makes the atmosphere worse. You should have taken them to go see LeBron James and Luca take on the Pels down in New Orleans last night. Even though the Pels got beat, they were leading going into the fourth quarter. They get beat, and congratulations, Tommy, you covered. But you should have taken them down there at least courtside and let them meet the King and Luca or something. Uh, by the way, it didn't. Whatever the recruiting thing happened, it looked like it didn't work. He's on his way to Tennessee to go visit with the Vols today. The fact that you let him get out of town without an agreement in place after LSU has signed 3 receivers in the portal uh, tells me that they're not in a good spot with Will Levitt.
I don't think they are. I'd be surprised if he comes here. And I tell you what, we talked about this yesterday. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button, but you better know where it is because they don't have a scholarship quarterback on the roster. They don't have one. Okay. And you really think you need 2, right? Or 3 scholarship guys. And I know there's a couple of walk ons to throw passes at practice, but I'm just saying it's, okay, the Wizard, Lane Given, the Portal King. What are you doing here? I mean, they talk about this kid from Ferris State who's a Taysom Hill kind of guy, runs the ball, throws the ball. He's been described as that type of player that can be in a couple different spots on the field. But I don't know. I mean,
Listen,
time will tell.
we don't need to go to the Ferris State waters again. Okay. We know that Trinidad Chambliss came from Ferris State. Do we think all of a sudden Ferris State is the mecca of quarterback play? No, man. You got the one. Chambliss going to Ole Miss and doing what he did. That's the story. There's not going to be another Ferris State story. This isn't the Northwestern State baseball pipeline or something like that. That up in Natchitoches of all these coaches that have gone like this. You had the one. And oh, by the way, Ole Miss seems they're all in on this Chambliss getting him eligible because it's been 7 weeks since they formed the appeal. They provided over 90 pages of documents to try to, medical documents, whatever that is, to try to let the NCAA know, though, it's been an ongoing thing that year. His redshirt freshman had respiratory. By the way, when you go to the doctor to get a respiratory infection or looked at or whatever, get medicine, um, they give you, they give you documentation. I don't know what they came up with.
Well, I guess it's better to send 90 pages than 9. Okay. Maybe they send, Ronnie, we lost your voice there. I can't hear you. Oh, all right, Ronnie's going to jump out. Again, I guess it's better you turn in 90 pages than 9 pages when you're appealing, trying to get another year of eligibility. And maybe you think, okay, well, they're going to see this stack of 90 pages and say, heck, I ain't reading all that junk. Let's just let the kid play. I mean, so many kids have gotten those extra years multiple times, whatnot. Again, Ronnie, I was saying, if you turn in 90 pages, maybe the committee goes, I don't want to read through all that. Let the kid play. If you turn in 4 pages, they're going to read it.
Look, there's no reason that Trinidad Chambliss should ever be eligible for a 6th year. Okay. He had 5 years to play 4. He did that. This is if the NCAA allows him to be eligible. Now, remember the quarterback at Vanderbilt, Pavia. That had nothing to do with the NCAA. That was a legal decision by a judge to grant him an injunction to allow him to play while the decision's being made, all that stuff. Talking about his junior college eligibility. That was not an NCAA decision. This would be an NCAA decision to say, oh, yeah, he redshirted. Then his next year, when he only played 2 games, he would have played a lot more, but he had that respiratory thing. Well, no, he got beat out, but we're lying. We're lying to get him eligible. And basically the lawyers are saying you will do irreprehensible harm to this young man because he is slated to make millions of dollars. Well, yeah. I mean, look, the guys that played, just a few, played just a couple of years ago before NIL. What about the class that played the year before NIL and graduated? Didn't they have irreparable harm because they didn't get a chance to participate in NIL money? I mean, get out of here, man. This is a clear and obvious situation where after the fact we're just trying to add years on for free. If the NCAA does this, Tommy, then just get rid of eligibility in general. Like, just get rid of it. It's just absurd. Stay in college as long as you want. But anyway, it looks like Ole Miss is all in on Chambliss. LSU's all in on whoever, and they don't. And both these teams could have quite different seasons next year if they don't land the quarterbacks they're trying to get.
And it's all about the quarterback. We know that. So a lot of work to be done. Now there is a big meeting, Ronnie, trying to change the college football calendar. There's a meeting going on. We'll see what comes out of that. They're going to do something just so they can say they had a reason to meet. But they got to get it fixed. And you need to fix it yesterday. So
well, the big part of the big part of that calendar, Tommy, is ESPN, right? I mean, that's the issue is that, you want the money, you want the billions of dollars for the playoff and everything else. Well, then if you want that, then you're a made for TV situation here. Ideally, and I agree with this, ideally the season would end January 1st, January 2nd, something like that, right? You'd have all your playoffs and bowl games and whatever in December, and you get right up to, January 2nd or whatever is the championship game, and then the portal opens and the rest is history. That's how it should be. I don't know if you can put the genie back in the bottle, though, from a television standpoint. That's my only concern.
Well, that's what's going to control it. If ESPN's at this meeting, which I'm guessing they are, if they agree to do some things, and I think conference championship games are going to go by the wayside. I think they're going to go away, and then the playoffs need to start that first Saturday in December when normally, you got that conference championship weekend. You got to do it that way. I mean, it sounds simple to do. It's not simple to do. There's a lot of layers involved, but I think something's got to happen, if for nothing else, to just change the image of, so many crazy stories we've read, so many crazy stories we've heard.
Yeah, I disagree on the conference championships going away, only because they make so much money.
But do they make it? But that money's replaced by playoff money for 12 teams.
Well, you still have
Tulane made more money. Tulane made what, $6 million?
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying,
conference championship game, they're going to make $100,000.
I'm not saying anything about the playoffs. You have the championships and the playoffs. The athletic departments, Tommy, are in a situation where they need more money every year. More. I mean, if we're paying these guys $20-25 million a year in an athletic budget in the SEC, and we need revenue, right? Because if not, you're going to have, Verge Osbury, a couple janitors, and 3 people in the athletic department working. And the problem is that they didn't find $20-25 million in revenue over from one year to the next. What did they do? Oh, well, you know what? We're not going to upgrade those facilities. Oh, we are going to fire some of these employees. Oh, we're going to cut back on the X, Y, and Z to try to, afford paying players $20-25 million. So because they're cutting back, they got to find more revenue. And I personally, now I'm not saying that the Mountain West Championship makes a lot of money. I'm saying the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC. I'm saying those championship games make a lot of money for that conference. It's going to be hard for them to walk away from just walking away. They're not replacing that with money. They're already got the playoffs. They already got the 12 teams. They're just walking away from money to try to make the calendar a little smoother. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Or if you put 24 teams in the playoffs, then those coaches aren't going to want to go to a championship game, right. And then that revenue would wash eventually. Yeah. And the TV money is the key. Okay, not ticket sales, not selling hats and shirts. TV money is the key. So TV, which always seems to step up, I don't care what sport it is, they seem to step up. Okay. And if they're willing to do that, but then you get into, like the talk that Notre Dame didn't want to go to the bowl game because it was on ESPN and they have an NBC contract. And I know it's a whole different animal with Notre Dame, but you start getting into who's really controlling who gets in and who doesn't get in. And if it's Alabama in over Notre Dame, there are those that think it's the ESPN people, twisting somebody's arm to say we need Bama in there, not Notre Dame, because Notre Dame is a NBC guy. Trust me, that's going on too.
TK 19 and 19 in the in your season long bet. We are really what
Almost halfway.
we're almost halfway. We're not quite there yet. We're 38 games in. Halfway would be 41 games in. But almost halfway, and you're 500 on your Pelicans bet. Now, for those that have been keeping up, Tommy's betting against the Pelicans, no matter whatever the line is, whatever the spread is, he's going the other way with it. Whether the Pelicans are favored or a dog, and most of the time they're a dog. But yeah, 19 and 19, TK. I'm curious to see where this line ends up at the end of the year.
And I've won 6 in a row. But here's the other thing: the Pelicans are 8-30. I'm 19-19. There's only been 3 games when the Pelicans were favorites, Ronnie. Only 3, because I have a little tally
Right.
sheet. I keep that, okay. And being 500, I'm still down because of juice. All right, but if I can get this thing, to 56% roughly, then it would be a winning proposition. It's been a little fun to keep up with. In fact, I did look at the Lakers score last night. I knew the Lakers, it was close in the third quarter, and I fell asleep. I woke up this morning and the Lakers covered. So I was like, that was like the good, you look at the balance, like my buddy Dave in Vegas used to say, hey, just make your bet, get up in the morning, check your balance. Don't sweat it like, who they up for? Can they get a 3-pointer? Can they get, stop? Just check your balance in the morning.
I tell you what, Tommy, though, sometimes the sweat is worth the bet. Sometimes you bet just to have a little sweat, not just because you think, ooh, you're gonna win money. Especially when it's a game that you don't like. If Boise is playing Washington State in football, that's not a game that I really want to watch. But if I got $20 on it, I'm gonna watch it, right? And that's part of why you bet a little bit. I feel like it is for the sweat.
Well, it's
Um,
the adrenaline. The like, hey, I won that one. Or, oh, I got a bad beat. Oh, I got a good win. It's part of it. It's just a game.
All right, so LSU men's and women's basketball is in a world of hurt. LSU football trying to find a quarterback. It's gonna be a rotation of people through Baton Rouge. It looks like till they get one they like and they want to sign. Let's just not have it. Please, Lagway at Florida, please. No Lagway at Florida. Um, and of course, we are a little over 30 days away. LSU baseball, February 13th, 2 o'clock.
All right. So what's
Uh,
that? So we're looking at a little over 30 days. You're right.
yeah,
So that
February
would be
13th.
what, 5 weeks from this Friday?
There you go.
All
5 weeks
right.
from
So yeah,
Friday.
we're counting it down, and this LSU baseball social media is starting to amp it up a little bit. Seeing a lot of posts, a lot of things, a little bit more than normal, and it'll continue to amp up as we get. I would think the first pitch bank was January 15th. For those that like to go to that.
Next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. If you want a little juice, Trey Morgan and Dylan Cruz are going to be over at Pro Dreams from 2 to 4, signing autographs and stuff like that. So, you can go get a little LSU baseball taste right there. All right, TK, tell us about Tremonti's as we get out of here. We'll see you on
Well,
Friday.
all right, it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday, it's the lunch special: hamburger and fries, $6.99. The world famous hamburger that you can get at Baton Rouge Rougarou Games, $6.99 with fries. You can eat it here, dine in, or you can get it to go. Tremonti's on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. You got online ordering, Tremonti's.com. Catering's available, party platters, whatever you need. Stop by the wine. You can see all the wine behind me, the bourbon, the vodka, the tequila. They got everything here that you need at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood right here in Baton Rouge. We'll be back Friday morning with another episode of Sports Shorts Daily. I'll be here at Tremonti's again. Don't forget to like and share this show. That helps everybody. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or X, when you like and share this show, it helps Tremonti's. It helps Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. It helps the Rougarou and the Gumbo Gators and it helps Sports Shorts Radio, which this Saturday will be at the Walk-Ons in Brewley. We'll be live and in color 10 a.m. to 12 noon. ESPN Radio Baton Rouge, ESPN Radio Lafayette, Lake Charles. That'll be Saturday 10 to 12. We'll have Joel Davis. That's always a hit. And we'll be at the Walk-Ons in Brewley. Don't forget to like and share this show. Stop by Tremonti's. I'm Tommy Krysan. Have a great day, everyone.